The first time I realized my mother loved my sister more was on my 7th birthday. She bought Isabella a new doll to make sure she didn't feel left out. Isabella was 5. The pattern was set in pastel-colored plastic. 20 years later, the currency had just changed. "Maya, darling." My mother's voice was a saccharine drip through the phone. "You don't mind, do you? It's just for a little while, until she gets back on her feet." Isabella's feet, it seemed, were perpetually off the ground, cushioned by the soft, endless safety net of my parents' devotion. Her latest venture, a quote, curated artisanal candle business, had melted into a puddle of debt. Her landlord had evicted her, so she was moving back home. And I, the reliable one, the one with the good stable job in tech, was expected to vacate my childhood room, the one I'd been renting at a below-market rate to help my parents with their mortgage, to make space. "It's just for a few months," my mother repeated, the lie so familiar I could taste it. "Where am I supposed to go?" I asked, my voice flat. I was standing in my pristine kitchen, the one I'd saved for 5 years to remodel. It was my sanctuary. "Oh, you'll find something," she said, her tone dismissive. "You're so resourceful, Maya. Unlike poor Bella, she's just fragile." Fragile, the word they always used. It was a shield that excused every tantrum, every failure, every act of selfishness. My stability was my curse. It made me invisible. I looked out my window at the sleek, gray city. I thought of the years of forgotten birthdays, of promotions met with a distracted, "That's nice, dear," of my achievements being mere footnotes to Isabella's dramas. The quiet, dutiful daughter, always understanding, always bending. A strange calm settled over me. The calm that comes not from acceptance, but from a decision finally made. "Of course, Mom," I said, my voice sweet and placid. "Whatever Isabella needs." I could feel her relief, warm and smug through the phone. "I knew you'd understand." What I understood was that the game was about to change. I wouldn't fight. I wouldn't cry. I would simply win. The move was a pantomime of sisterly affection. Isabella fluttered around, not lifting a single box, talking about how this was a cosmic reset for her. She already had plans to turn my old room into a meditation and creative visualization space. My father helped me load the car, his eyes avoiding mine. He was a kind man, but weak, worn down by a lifetime of choosing the path of least resistance, which was always the path toward placating my mother and Isabella. I didn't move far. I rented a small, modern apartment 10 minutes away. I didn't tell them the address. "It's a temporary sublet," I lied. "The paperwork is messy." They didn't question it. They were too busy celebrating Isabella's return. And then, I began my work. My revenge was not going to be loud or messy. It would be quiet, precise, and utterly devastating. It would be built on the very thing they had always valued me for, my reliability. Phase 1 was financial erosion. My parents' comfort was underpinned by 2 things, my father's pension and my monthly rent. With me gone, that rent stopped. I knew their finances intimately from years of helping them with their taxes. The mortgage was manageable but tight without my contribution. My mother's secret credit card debt, which I'd discovered years ago, was a ticking time bomb. I didn't say a word. I just stopped the transfer. The first month, my mother called, her voice tight. "Maya, the bank said the payment didn't go through." "Oh, I'm so sorry, Mom," I said, sounding flustered. With the move and the new bank for the sublet, it must have slipped my mind. "I'll sort it out." I didn't. I let the silence stretch for 2 weeks, listening to her panic grow with each voicemail, before finally transferring a partial, inadequate amount. "It's all I can manage right now," I whispered, injecting a tremor into my voice. "Things are expensive." I was saving my money now. For myself. Meanwhile, I began phase 2, the unraveling of Isabella. I became her most devoted secret admirer. I created a fake Instagram profile and began showering her personal account with praise for her vision and untapped genius. I then used another fake account to DM her about a, quote, groundbreaking, invite-only pop-up gallery for disruptive artists. I, as the gallery's elusive curator Alessandra, told Isabella her energy was exactly what we were looking for. She bid hard. Alessandra encouraged her to create a bold new collection. "Forget candles," she wrote. "Your medium is too small. Think big. Installation art. Use your parents' home as your canvas. It's a statement on bourgeois domesticity." Isabella, high on this digital validation, began her work. She painted a mural of chaotic energy on the living room wall. She replaced the curtains with hanging chains and old computer parts. She liberated my mother's best china from the cabinets to use in a sculpture about shattered familial expectations. It was, predictably, a disaster of glitter and glue. My mother, who valued her home's appearance above all else, was horrified. But how could she crush her fragile daughter's artistic awakening? I listened to the strained phone calls, the barely concealed frustration in my mother's voice. "She's just expressing herself, David," she'd hissed to my father in the background. Phase 3 was the masterstroke. It was time to weaponize their own narrative. I started a blog. Not under my name, of course. It was called The Invisible Daughter. I wrote under a pseudonym, detailing a lifetime of emotional neglect in simple, crisp prose. I didn't use real names, but the details were ours. The birthday doll, the eviction, the fragile sister, and the resourceful one. I wrote about the quiet ache of being the backup plan, the reliable one whose love was assumed, and therefore ignored. I shared the blog in online forums for children of narcissistic parents. It resonated. The readership grew. The comments were a chorus of, "This is my life," and "I feel so seen." Then, I took the final, calculated risk. I submitted a piece from the blog to a major online culture magazine, known for its raw, personal essays. I used a throwaway email. I never expected a reply. A week later, an editor wrote back. "This is breathtaking and heartbreaking," she said. "We'd like to publish it. We can keep you anonymous." The essay, titled "The Ghost in the Family Photo," went live on a Tuesday morning. It was the lead story. By noon, my phone was blowing up. It was my father. His voice was choked. Strange. "Maya, have you seen the internet?" "What do you mean, Dad?" "There's an article. Your mother is hysterical. It's about our family. It's us." I feigned ignorance. "I'm sure it's just a coincidence, Dad. Lots of families are like that." "No," he whispered, and I could hear the dawning, terrible understanding in his voice. "It mentions the blue willow china. The mural. The doll on the birthday. No one else knows that." I said nothing. I let the silence speak for me. "Maya," he said, his voice breaking. "Was it you?" I took a slow, quiet breath. I didn't deny it. I didn't confirm it. I simply said, "I hope Isabella is enjoying her creative space." The line went dead. The fallout was swift and brutal. Their carefully constructed world, where Isabella was the star and I was the stagehand, was exposed for a global audience to see. My mother's friends called her, their voices laced with pity and morbid curiosity. My father, for the first time in his life, was forced to see the truth in print, in black and white, and he couldn't unsee it. They didn't speak to me for a month. Then, a letter arrived from my father. Not an email, a handwritten letter. "Maya, we have failed you. The article was a mirror, and we didn't like what we saw. Your mother is struggling. Isabella has moved out, to an artist's commune in New Mexico. She said we were suffocating her energy. The house is very quiet, and very empty. I am so sorry. Dad." I read it once. Then I folded it and put it in a drawer. There was no triumph, no glorious victory dance. There was just a quiet, hollow space where my anger used to live. Last week, I invited them to my new apartment for the first time. My mother looked older. The confidence was gone from her eyes. She moved carefully, as if she were made of glass. The fragile one. Now, she looked around my clean, minimalist space. At the framed prints I'd chosen, the books on my shelves, the quiet order of it all. It was a home that bore no fingerprints but my own. "It's lovely, Maya," she said, her voice soft. "You've built a lovely life for yourself." It was the first time she had ever acknowledged my life as something separate, something that belonged to me. I nodded. "I have." We drank tea. We made stilted conversation. The ghost of Isabella was in the room with us, but she was no longer a star. She was just a memory of a problem. As they left, my mother hesitated at the door. She turned to me, her eyes searching my face for the daughter she thought she knew. "That article," she began, then stopped. "The writer," she was very angry. I met her gaze, my own calm and clear. I didn't smile. I didn't frown. "Maybe," I said gently, closing the door between us. But she was also right, and for the first time, in the quiet of my own home, I knew that I was finally, completely, free. My revenge was not their punishment. It was my liberation.